Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So in this video, I want to tell you guys about my farmer's market setup. I've gotten a lot of questions over the last couple months asking about what I take to the farmer's market, what my setup is like for my wrapped bouquets. And so in this video, I just want to share with you guys how I set things up and everything that I use. So I typically go to two regular farmers markets. One is every Tuesday here in the town that I live in. It's from 4:30 to 6:30. I'm also the market manager, and so I get there about 3:30. I unload my stuff. I put out the cones. We block off the street. I make sure all the other vendors are set up. And then the market itself is from 4:30 to 6:30. We're a very small town, so it's not a huge market. We typically have maybe 10 to 15 vendors every week. Someone's always serving a meal. Last night we had live music. Sometimes we have pony rides. It's just a really fun thing for families to do during the summer. So that is the one that I do every single Tuesday. I also go to a market about 15 minutes away in a town where I grew up in. It's a little bigger town than the one that I live in, but the market itself is about the same size, kind of run by the same format, maybe not as many vendors. But I do that maybe last year. I only did it 3 times. This year I'm trying to do it once a month as my schedule allows. So I have a very simple market set up for these regular farmers markets. I will do a whole nother video later in the season when I'm getting ready for like the big vendor fairs. I have this market that I do in September. If you've been following my channel, you've probably seen me do prior videos on it. It's a big end of September market called the Made and Found Midwest Market. It draws thousands of people. It's my favorite event of the year. So I will have whole separate videos on that. But in this video, I basically just want to share with you my weekly farmers market setup and everything that I take along. So the size of where I set up I'm sure is pretty standard. I use a 10 by 10 tent, and all of the things that I use that I have linked for will be in the description to this video. And so you guys can look online and read about the exact products that I use and order them if you want to. A lot of the things that I will talk about in this video, they're really easy to just get off Amazon. At the markets, because they're outside, we don't have a measured booth space, but the 10 by 10 tent is very standard, so that's kind of what all of the vendors use. So I have a white 10 by 10 tent. I literally could put this one up in 5 minutes by myself. I think the brand is Eagle Peak, and I'll of course put a picture up on the screen. But when you fold it out, it has a push up in the center. So I get underneath the tent and I push it up, and then I lift the legs up, and it pretty much sets itself up. And then to take it down after the market, all I do is reach up and then twist that middle push-up portion. Oh, I can't talk today. I twist that, and then the whole thing comes down. So it's super easy for one person to set up. I ordered, I think it's Easy Up. Is that the really popular brand of the tents? I did not find the Easy Up tents to be easy up at all. I had to send it back. I had a horrible time with it. This tent is so easy. I haul it back and forth. It's the best. So anyway, if you're looking for a tent, check that out. So I set up under this tent, and then to hold the tent down, because we all know it gets really windy all the time in the summer, these are also from Amazon. So you can get these in a set of 4. I think they're maybe $15 to $20. And basically they're a sandbag, and then they Velcro at the top. So you just open them up and you pour the sand in yourself. It closes with the Velcro, and then it has a nice handle for carrying because they do get really heavy. And then there's 3 Velcro strips along the side of the bag. And basically you wrap this around the leg of a tent and then Velcro it, and you put one of these on each of the legs of your tent, and that holds your tent down. Really easy. I have been using these for a couple seasons, and they hold up really well. So if you're looking for a weight for your tent, I highly recommend these. Again, I have everything linked in the description below. So those are the two main things that I take along for setup. As far as how my booth is displayed, I take just one of these plastic white fold-up tables. This is a 4-foot. When I do bigger markets, I take multiple tables, a couple 6 feet, a couple 4 feet. I have a huge setup, but for these markets, I tend to take just my 4-foot table because it's super easy to fit in my car. And then on the actual table itself, I have a lot of different colors of these bright tablecloths. And these are a stretchy tablecloth, and they form fit right over the top of the table. And then the white that's down in the corners, this fits under the bottom of the leg of your table. So if it's windy, your tablecloth doesn't move in the wind and it doesn't go anywhere. And these are like $12, $15. They're somewhere in that price range. They come in all different colors. Like I said, I have a lot of different colors of these. This bright pink is the one that I'm using right now. I have a plum one that I use in the fall. I think I have maybe a mustard color, a blush pink color. They come in a million different colors, but these are really great and they wash and dry really great in the laundry. So I have these in 4-foot and 6-foot. They also come in a variety of sizes. So I put one of these on my table every single week. And actually, let me just pop this on the table right now, and then I'll kind of display how I would when I'm setting up at the market. So as you can see, that was really easy to put on. Then I like to add a couple other items to the edges and sides of my table just to widen my display space. The first is this chalkboard sign. And I absolutely love this. It got a little scuffed up after my market last night, so I need to go and redo this. This, again, I got on Amazon. I have it linked down below. I think it was maybe $65 to $70, not super expensive. The one nice thing about it is that, well, first of all, it's double-sided. So this is one side that I used for my fall market last year that I was erasing and decided to switch over and use the other side. So I can have two sides designed at the same time, but it folds out. And so it's really easy to set up at the market. So what I usually do is most of the people will enter the market from this side. So I will set up the sign. Hopefully this is all still in view for you guys. I set this up kind of angling towards where everyone comes in, right on this side of my table. And then this is a planter. I cannot even remember where I got this. Some store, it's red. It's supposed to be a Christmas planter, but I use it to display market bouquets. So these are the 10-liter buckets from Johnny's. They fit perfectly right down on the inside. So this I set off to the side on the other side of the table. And then I have my sign over here, another bucket display over here for flowers, and then the rest of my flowers I layer on the table. So once I have all that in place, I start putting the flowers out on the table. We are able to pull our cars up and unload right where we are setting up. So typically I'll leave my car running for a little bit to keep the flowers in my car in the air conditioning as long as possible, because sometimes these market days, oh my gosh, they can get into the 90s, and some varieties don't take the heat very well. So I will get all of this in place first under my tent, and then I'll place the flowers last. So typically, and I'm going to use some empty buckets for this, I'll have one bucket here. I use one of these crates not only to carry everything in, but I use it as a display on my table. I'll typically put another bucket here and then another bucket on this side. And then I have a couple different signs. Aside from this one, I have just a little printed out sign that's mounted with my logo. So typically I will lean that up against this crate. And then I have a printed out picture of my Venmo code. So people will bring up their cell phone and scan this if they're paying me Venmo, or they'll just pay me cash. So I usually set that down on the table so they can easily scan that. And then the crate, This kind of acts as not only to help display some things, and if you guys saw my recent video, I talked about how I make the mini bouquets. Typically, I'll just bring a couple vases to put those in, so like they would sit right in front here. And then the inside of my crate acts like just my little cubby where I keep all my money. So I'll have my money bag in here, and then I always like to keep some baggies. So these are just like the regular plastic bags, not Ziploc or anything. They have the open top. Whenever someone buys a bouquet, I put one of these on the bottom of the bouquet just so that it doesn't drip all over their clothes, and then it kind of helps protect the bottom of the flowers. And so I take a box of baggies to every single market. And then of course, with my money in here, I usually have lots of change. My market bouquets are $15, and so a lot of times people will give me a $20 bill. And so I always want to make sure that I have enough $5 bills, because that seems to be what I hand out every single time. So I'm going to put a few pictures up on the screen of some previous market setups, and you can see that they're all going to be different seasons. You can tell by the different flowers that are displayed on the tables, and you can see I have a few different colors of the tablecloths that I use. But basically my setup is pretty much the same each time. I have a small SUV, and all of this is able to fit in the back of my SUV. So I am able to transport it and set it up by myself every single week, and it works really well. Typically each week I take anywhere from 10 to 15 large bouquets, usually closer to 15. And then this time of year, when I start getting the zinnias and a lot of other flowers, when I make the mini bouquets, I usually have between 6 and 8 of those displayed as well. And you probably saw that in the pictures. But this setup really works well for me. It has for the past few years, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope this was helpful to you guys. And again, I will do another video later when I do my big market setups for the big September market. Those are a lot different because I actually have a 10 by 20 space for that one. And let me just throw a picture up on the screen. This is my setup from last year. Again, it was a 10 by 20 space. So I have 2 of my 10 by 10 tents, and I just link them together. And I have multiple tables. I take anywhere from 300 to 350 pumpkins. I had, I think, maybe 15 to 20 large bouquets. And then I also had something like 85 of the jelly jar arrangements. That is my favorite, by far, event of the year, and I'm already looking forward to it. In fact, we just got a notice a couple days ago on social media that we're only 75 days out from this huge event, which makes me think I need to get my huge planting of sunflowers in the ground, because I take a lot of sunflowers to that event. So I'm going to be planting so many Pro-Cuts, Pro-Cut orange, Pro-Cut red. I'm going to be planting a whole bunch of the sunflower Steve sunflowers. So I'm really excited to start planning for that market this year. But anyway, now I'm rambling on. I will make sure to share all of that with you guys later on. I hope you enjoyed seeing my quick market setup video. Again, everything is linked in the description below if you're interested in looking up any of the products that I use. And stay tuned for a lot more this summer. We'll see you soon.